Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Wow, Chelsea and Pochettino have parted ways. It seems to be a mutual agreement that Mauricio Pochettino will not continue as the Chelsea manager. And look, this doesn't come as a surprise to me to an extent because I feel as though this is what we've kind of expected to happen when it comes to the new owners, their vision for the club, any manager that comes in and doesn't agree with every single thing that these guys want is going to be chopped. And Pochettino, despite having a really good end to the season, despite me even literally making a video less than 24 hours ago because I was unaware that there was a pending announcement of this magnitude, I said that I wanted to see him given another season. I wanted to see him start pre-season, go into next season as the Chelsea manager because, based on the whole season, I feel as though he deserved it. And I think, to be quite honest, the thing that makes me so baffled by this decision is I do actually believe that there's going to be a lot of people at Chelsea that genuinely believe that Pochettino didn't do a bad job. And I think it's the actual process of moving forward which is making this one untenable for Pochettino. The fact that it's not like a sacking means we don't know what's going to happen in terms of like paying him out for the last year of his contract. It's a mutual agreement. And for me, this only goes one of two ways. The conversations will have happened about transfer policies. What players does Pochettino want? Pochettino wanted to have more of a say, a little bit more control. You've also got two sporting directors up there who are supposedly the ones now running the club, Paul Winstanley, Lawrence Stewart. And I think the moment that Pochettino will have said, well, I need this, I want this, they'd have been like, no, because you're going to get this. Pochettino would have then turned around and been like, well, if I'm going to get that, then I've probably taken this club in 6th place in the league, a cup final, cup semi-final. I've probably taken Chelsea as far as we possibly can. So if you don't mind, find someone who is going to be happy with a 20-year-old right winger, an 18-year-old, a 16-year-old, a flipping 12-year-old from Chile. Don't worry about that because someone will come in, get paid a lot of money to be the Chelsea manager, and they won't turn up their nose to anything. They won't sit there and look at the ownership and be like, well, we actually need this, we need that. I think from a footballing side of things, there was more than enough progress at the end of this season just gone to suggest that Mauricio Pochettino not only had the backing of the players, which has always been an issue with previous Chelsea managers that have been sacked. You can name multiple times when a manager that the fans might have loved may have been fired because massive personalities in the dressing room didn't want the manager anymore or had kind of grown tired, and there becomes a rift at Chelsea. Player power. We've heard all of these stories before. The players backed him. They started to understand his ideas. They started playing good football, started winning football matches, and then he's fired. It's like when you criticize a dog or when you punish a dog for getting something wrong, you don't punish him once he's come to you. If a dog does something in the distance that you don't like, and then you call his name or her name, and it comes over, you don't smack it then, you don't shout at it then, because the dog has just remembered that he's done something correct. This is what it is here with Pochettino. Pochettino is almost being punished at the end of this season for getting us somewhere, having a bit of ambition, having a bit of belief, and as an actual footballing brain, he's come with the ball, he's fetched it, he's walked over, and then we've gone and fired him. Well, not fired him, but we've basically not given him any ammunition, and the good kind of ammunition, to take Chelsea forward, which now leaves us in a predicament here because any manager that's got any real, like, let's say, like any quality is going to look at this and be like, well, what do I have to do to succeed? You've got 2 years now under these new owners where bright, young-ish managers, Potter's a young manager, he comes in, it doesn't work because he's just given a bunch of, like, they spend a load of money, but there's no real tactical plan there. And there's no real plan with the recruitment. This summer just gone, we bought some really good players. They're all still stupidly young. There is a severe lack of experience at the club. And you bet that Pochettino, in whatever this meeting was, will have made it very clear, performance-wise, importance-wise, Gallagher, top player at Chelsea. Chalobah, top player at Chelsea. But the owners are desperate to sell these guys. Why? Because they've bought a load of young players, it's not financially viable, and Gallagher and Chalobah are big profit sales for the club, and it gets them out of trouble. Pochettino will see a player that has played 50 games for him out of 51 and be like, I need this guy. You can clearly see He's at a really good level this season, Gallagher, and he's been so important to the vertical style of football that Mauricio Pochettino wants to play. But it does not matter about style. It doesn't matter about tactics. It doesn't matter about the players actually buying into his ideas and backing the manager, because as long as the manager who's in charge is saying what he actually needs, and if it goes against anything in line with the vision of these new owners, they're gone. They're absolutely gone. And for me, I've obviously not really... It's taken me almost a whole season to warm to Pochettino, because it's taken a whole season for Chelsea to actually click. Chelsea to actually get results. I didn't warm to him that much at first. I liked the pre-season, and I've called for his head a couple of times this year. I'm not going to beat around the bush with that. But the fact of the matter is, as the season's gone on, and you actually look at what we've achieved in the second half of the season, look at the actual ending of the season, you can understand right now that these players need stability. They need to be able to grow and work, like I said in yesterday's video, on the foundations that have been made. Pochettino, by the end of it, had done a good job. And I say thank you for getting Chelsea to a position at the end of the 23-24 season that is significantly better than where we were a year ago. Pochettino has managed to guide us at least into a direction where we can see the quality in the players. The players are starting to gel together. We're getting results. A lot of acquisitions that looked like we were literally throwing money and pissing it down the drain finally look like worthwhile investments at the club. But the issue that I have here is that this literally just screams profit, money. There's no footballing sense, I don't think, right now. Maybe my opinions will change if I look at the new manager, whatever. But for me, there isn't a footballing reason behind why Pochettino is no longer the Chelsea manager. This is purely, Pochettino will have wanted this, doesn't align with the vision, sorry mate, it's not going to work, out the door. And for me, that is so worrying. It's so dangerous that is the way that Chelsea are going to be ran. The players that are going to come in, they're all going to be flipping young again. I guarantee it now. I absolutely guarantee it. The high performers this season, the Chalobahs, the Gallaghers, they will be sold. Even the fact that Chelsea Football Club have got a 25 million price tag on Chalobah, but will buy Badiashile and Disasi for more money than that is outrageous. It just shows that from the very top, the footballing minds, they're not even footballing minds. They're not making proper footballing decisions. And I tell you now, obviously, whoever comes in, we're going to get excited about it. This is my reaction video to Pochettino being sacked. After this one, we're going to look into it in more depth. I'm going to look at the real reasons, I think, why, overall, with this review at the end of the season, there's obviously not just going to be Poch wanted this, so they didn't want that, he's going to be axed. There's going to definitely be something to do with the training, with the injuries. I'm reading that a lot of it is also down to the fact that Chelsea missed so many big chances this season. But this isn't even football at this point. The manager cannot put the ball in the back of the net. The manager can get the players into a position to put the ball in the back of the net. The reason we didn't score those chances is because all you've done is buy inexperienced players that at 20, 21, 19, 22 have to miss chances to become better footballers. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Obviously, as the season goes on and you keep losing, Jackson was missing loads of chances. He gets criticised for it. But then again, as the season goes on, look at Nicholas Jackson actually converting chances, scoring goals. He's got one of the best dribble rates in the Premier League for successful take-ons from forwards. There's so many improvements, and I just fear that the calibre of manager that we're talking about right now is just going to get swallowed by the magnitude of the job at hand here, which is to work with still an inexperienced bunch of players, have that knowledge that you've got to get top four, otherwise you're gone, basically, which I think Chelsea could do it next season, but that was based on the premise that we were building something with that current manager. And now he's not the current manager anymore. It's absolutely mental. Mauricio Pochettino's great mistake was thinking that Chelsea were going to give him the power he craved. It's not going to work like that here. But the danger is Chelsea becomes unmanageable. Piece on Poch, Egbali and the recruitment team. This is from Jacob Steinberg from The Telegraph. Look, at the end of the day, I think there will be some managers out there that will absolutely chomp at the bit to get the Chelsea job. I think De Zerbi will probably become the new Chelsea manager. I'm not really sure how I feel about that, to be honest. I need to sit and think about it. I think any past manager will not want to go anywhere near the club with the way that it's being ran right now. And I think there are a lot of young managers that would obviously jump at the chance to manage Chelsea, but I genuinely feel that the task at hand will swallow them. You can't just take an inexperienced team where the key issues on the pitch has been inexperience, throw an inexperienced manager on top and expect those two to just turn everything into pure positives. I find it absolutely mind-blowing. I don't understand whatsoever. Yes, I've been calling for his head a lot this season. Yes, I've obviously been called a flip-flop for it. But at the end of the day, football is a results-based business, not a profit-making business. And that's all I see this is. We are too focused on selling good quality Chelsea players that Pochettino probably wanted. And we've bought so many youngsters with the idea of being able to sell the ones on in the future that aren't the top ones and make some profit on them. It's as simple as that for me, really. Let me know your thoughts on Pochettino leaving Chelsea. It's not even like he's been sacked, but basically has. To be quite honest, I find it absolutely mad. Who is it going to be next? Let me know your preferences in the comments down below. I'm shocked by this. I really am. Vincent Kompany is another name that is being linked. The guy just got relegated by Burnley. Like, what? How have we gone from, like, even Pochettino, I was like, is a Spurs manager. But going from a Spurs manager to a flipping Burnley manager, or even an Ipswich manager, Kieran McKenna, I think is a really good manager. He's achieved a lot. He's obviously learned at Manchester United also. So he's seen the big clubs. He's seen how they're ran and managed. But to expect him to convert a League One promotion, a Championship promotion, into getting Chelsea competing for titles and qualifying for the Champions League in a Premier League, come on, man. Like, it's just pure delusion. Absolute delusion. Thoughts in the comments. Come on, you Blues.